You are sitting in a perfectly quiet, climate-controlled office overlooking the city, staring at the soft blue glow of a terminal monitor. It is early on a Sunday morning. You are calmly modeling the reputational risk of a massive $2.3 billion Chilean desalination plant. Why? Because your consortium just orchestrated a significant increase in water prices for the region, and an international NGO has just published a scathing report connecting the price hike directly to your foreign ownership. A younger, less experienced version of yourself might feel a spike of panic right now, but you do not panic. You simply adjust your model, calculate the exact geometry of the outrage, and recommend a $14 million community investment program as a calculated, sterile form of risk management. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm incredibly excited you are here with me today because we are diving into a topic that is absolutely mind-blowing, deeply complex, and honestly, a little bit terrifying. If you are new here, this channel operates entirely in the high finance, wealth building, and corporate power niche, but we look at everything with a deeply psychological and systemic lens. We focus heavily on the hidden realities of money, the exact mechanics of how capital truly moves around the globe, and the intense, often brutal personal sacrifices that are absolutely required to achieve ultimate structural power. We've talked about the progression of an investment banker, what it is like working at a $1.4 trillion sovereign wealth fund, and how the ultra-wealthy use debt to avoid taxes using the famous buy, borrow, die strategy. But today, we are going to explore something much more visceral. You guys absolutely love the videos that promise insider access to extreme wealth, especially the ones with titles that place you directly into a high-stakes scenario, like POV, Your Life at Every CEO Level, or You Built Generational Wealth from Nothing. So today, we are going to look at the ultimate form of structural leverage. We are doing a full progression roadmap. POV, you control the global water supply. We are going to walk step by step along the path from being a junior real assets portfolio strategist all the way up to becoming a cornerstone investor who controls critical global infrastructure. This is going to be a cinematic, chronological ascent up the hierarchy, emphasizing exactly how your character fundamentally changes and hardens at each and every level. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive right into the deeply hidden architecture of power. Let us start at the very beginning with Level 1, the grunt work. This is where everyone pays their dues, and make no mistake about it, you are at the absolute bottom of the food chain. You are 22 years old, fresh out of an elite university, and you have just landed a job as an entry-level real assets portfolio strategist for a massive global infrastructure fund. You walk into the towering glass skyscraper on your first day, bright-eyed and fiercely ambitious, genuinely thinking that this job is just about making money. But the reality of the machine hits you incredibly fast. At this level, you quickly learn that you are not considered a person. You are basically just a function. Your entire existence shrinks down to the harsh blue glow of your computer monitor. You are working grueling 14 to 18-hour days on a completely regular basis. You are the person sitting alone at a desk, desperately fixing broken spreadsheets at midnight. To really give you a sense of the hyper-realistic, stressful sensory reality of the bottom rung, imagine this. The number glowing on your screen right now is $847 million. I want you to really think about that number. It is not your money, and it will never be your money, but you are the exact person who has to model it. It's 11:47 at night, the office is dead silent, and your coffee is completely cold. The spreadsheet model is supposed to hold, but as the clock ticks to 11:48 p.m., it does not hold, and you realize something is very wrong. You feel that intense, suffocating panic because the math is breaking down and millions of dollars are theoretically on the line. You are researching municipal water rights, analyzing the cost of pipe maintenance in developing nations, and reading 600-page concession agreements looking for a single legal loophole. You put in all these insane hours, You endure this immense fatigue, and at the end of the day, your name is absolutely never on the deal. You are just the hidden, invisible machinery keeping the numbers perfectly aligned for the people upstairs. But you keep going. You push through the exhaustion because you want that promotion. You want to make it to the next tier of the game. This brings us to level 2, which marks the true beginning of your ascent, and what we will call the compromise. You have put in your time doing the grueling grunt work. You have survived the midnight panic attacks, and it finally pays off. You gain a real title, maybe VP or director, and this is the magical stage where you actually start making some real life-changing money. But pay close attention here, guys, because this is also the exact stage where the rules of the game completely flip on you. You start to realize that this entire system is not just about the flawless math you are crunching late at night. The real system is actually built entirely on relationships and leverage. This is a massive psychological pivot. You are moving away from just executing tasks and starting to truly understand the underlying architecture of the business machine. And with this powerful new understanding comes a whole new set of heavy responsibilities. This is the level where you are forced to make your very first real moral compromises. You are transitioning into a world where empathy becomes a severe liability. Imagine you are leading a deal to acquire the municipal water system of a struggling, mid-sized industrial city. The city is drowning in debt, and they need a cash injection. Your firm offers to buy the water rights and upgrade the infrastructure, but the mathematical reality of your financial model requires you to increase the water bills for the local residents by 40% over the next 3 years. You are sitting in a boardroom, and you have to make the call to finalize the contract. You know this will deeply hurt working-class families. At first, it really eats at you. You might lose sleep over it, agonizing over the people you were pricing out of a basic human necessity. But eventually, the switch flips, and you stop feeling guilty about it. You learn to rationalize the pain away as just market efficiency. The journey to the top heavily focuses on this exact, gradual extraction of empathy at each promotion. You start trading away vital pieces of your humanity to keep moving up the ladder. Now we are moving on to level 3, the cold calibration. You are stepping into upper management, the managing director level and beyond, and the stakes are getting unbelievably high. You are moving past domestic municipal deals and stepping onto the global stage. Your personality has drastically changed by this point. You have become highly stoic, detached, and cinematic. You do not really show loud emotions anymore, whether they are positive or negative. Imagine this. You pour yourself one glass of expensive whiskey, and you drink it completely alone in a sterile luxury hotel room. You just closed a monumental deal to privatize the water distribution for an entire region in South America. As you sit there in the quiet, what you feel in your chest is not actually happiness. It is something much closer to relief. You literally take that feeling, analyze it, and coldly file that distinction away in your mind. This is the phase of your career defined by the cold calibration of the modern era. You realize that any personal ideology you once had is being completely replaced by structural power. You are no longer viewing water as a natural resource or a human right. You view it strictly as an asset class. You're orchestrating deals where essential resources become permanent financial obligations for entire populations. You are learning the deeply guarded insider secrets of extreme wealth, and you see exactly how the ultra-wealthy position themselves as the unavoidable toll booths of human existence. But your personal life is taking a brutal, silent hit. The reality of ascending this ladder is that it consistently costs you your humanity. You are gaining an incredible amount of financial knowledge, and your life with that knowledge looks vastly different than your life without it. But you are also becoming increasingly isolated from normal society. You finally realize that privacy, trust, freedom, and genuine human connection are not actually things that you randomly lost along the way. They are the exact currency that you deliberately exchanged for your success. Your focus is completely locked in on wealth building and consolidating corporate power. You view finance and infrastructure not as a regular job, but as complex architecture. As we push forward, we arrive at level 4, the cornerstone investor. Welcome to the big leagues, guys. You are now swimming in the absolute deepest end of the pool. You are dealing directly with structural power and experiencing profound, echoing isolation. You no longer actually do the day-to-day work. Instead, you sit above it all and control the entire architecture of the global operation. You are operating at an elite level where your daily decisions literally move billions of dollars. You are a cornerstone investor controlling critical global infrastructure. You are not just buying individual water treatment plants anymore. You are acquiring massive parallel stakes in developing nations. To give you an example of this immense scale, while your firm is buying up water rights, you might be also structuring deals to control 18% of Kenya's national energy grid by 2031. You hold so much leverage that you can dictate if entire countries can borrow money, or you might find yourself sitting at a table actively restructuring sovereign debt. But let's take a hard look at your personal life at this level. How are things at home? The truth is, your marriage has basically just become logistics. You are managing schedules, public appearances, philanthropic foundations, and shared assets, rather than actually enjoying a warm, romantic partnership. You sleep poorly on incredibly expensive sheets, constantly haunted by the sheer weight of the global machine you are responsible for running. Your social circle has shrunk drastically over the years, and now it only includes other elite individuals who also control massive amounts of capital. You cannot relate to normal people anymore. You have fully traded your personal freedom and genuine human connection for a permanent seat at the very top table, where every single decision you make is purely structural. You are no longer dealing with people, you are dealing with systems, leverage, and positioning. And finally, my friends, we reach level 5, ultimate structural power. You have officially reached the absolute summit of the mountain. You are the architect of the machine. You have built true generational wealth for your family, and you hold total, undeniable global leverage. When you sit behind the desk in your corner office, you know with absolute certainty the true wealth was never really about the cash sitting in your bank account. It was always about positioning, leverage, and the sheer power to control the infrastructure of human survival. This brings us perfectly back to the exact scenario we talked about in the hook. You are sitting there on a Sunday morning, modeling the reputational risk of that $2.3 billion Chilean desalination plant. You are the one who made the call to raise the water prices. When the NGO publishes their report connecting the hike to your foreign ownership, you don't even blink. You have survived the brutal climb, and you have masterfully decoded the exact mechanics of how capital moves. You simply approve a $14 million community investment program as calculated risk management, treating public outrage as nothing more than a line item on a balance sheet. But you have to look in the mirror and acknowledge that you are a completely different person than that terrified 22-year-old who started at the bottom fixing spreadsheets. The empathy is completely gone. The genuine, warm connections to everyday life are gone. You have become detached, cold, and entirely stoic. You have sacrificed everything soft and human about yourself, and in return, you have literally become the machine itself. And that brings us to the chilling ending of our journey, where we have to zoom out and realize that the cycle just continues. Picture yourself standing tall in your beautiful glass tower, looking out over the city skyline. You happen to glance down to the street far below, watching the tiny dots of people moving in and out of the corporate lobby. Down there, a brand new 22-year-old analyst is just walking through the doors for the very first time. They're heading up to their desk to open a terminal, genuinely thinking that this job is just about making some money, completely unaware of what the climb is truly going to cost them. They're stepping into that lobby right now to take your old place, and the massive, unfeeling machine just continues churning, exactly like it was designed to do. What an absolutely wild, intense journey, right guys? I really hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden realities of corporate power and the extreme psychological toll it takes to reach the absolute top of the global infrastructure ladder. It's a world most of us will never see, where the cold calibration of the modern era turns essential resources into permanent financial obligations. But understanding how it works changes the way you view absolutely everything around you. If you found this perspective as fascinating and eye-opening as I did, please do me a massive favor and smash that like button right now. It really helps out the channel and pushes this content to more people who want to decode the true architecture of power. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another deep dive into the hidden mechanics of wealth, power, and psychology. Now, I have a question for you, and I really want you to be honest. Leave a comment down below and let me know, at what exact level do you think you would tap out? Would you endure the 18-hour days? Thank you all so much for spending your time with me today. Keep building, keep learning, and I will see you guys in the next video.